Welcome to Weekly China Recap with Xing Zheming, where we break down China's most important economic, political, and strategic developments in a way that cuts through the noise and gives you a clear view of what's actually happening inside the world's second largest economy. This week, we focus on something fundamental: China's renewed push to revive private investment. At the moment, when the country is navigating complex domestic restructuring and intense geopolitical pressures. At the heart of this is the newly released 13-point State Council Action Plan, a package that Beijing hopes will boost confidence, unlock capital, and reignite the vitality of China's private economy. This latest policy move does not exist in a vacuum. It comes right after the announcement of China's ambitious yet pragmatic 15th Five-Year Plan, a blueprint designed to guide the country through a decade defined by geopolitical uncertainty and shifting economic realities. And it arrives at a time when China simply cannot afford a sluggish private sector. Let's remember the numbers. Private enterprises contribute over 50% of China's tax revenue, 60% of GDP, 80% of urban employment, and over 90% of all companies in China are privately owned. In other words, if the private sector slows, the Chinese economy slows structurally and immediately. Meanwhile, foreign direct investment has been contracting. In the first 9 months of this year, FDI fell by more than 10% year-on-year as global companies reassess supply chains, respond to geopolitical risks, or simply hesitate amid rising operational costs and competition. Against this backdrop, reinvigorating domestic private capital is not just desirable, it is essential for China's next stage of growth. Let me walk through the key components in plain language with the strategic implications clearly laid out. First, opening the doors to private capital in state-dominant sectors. For the first time, the State Council is officially encouraging private investment into industries historically controlled by state-owned enterprises, including railways, nuclear power, hydropower, cross-regional ultra-high voltage transmission channels, oil and gas pipelines, LNG receiving and storage facilities, and large-scale water supply projects. Private investors may now hold over 10% equity in certain projects, a meaningful jump from past norms. This is a major structural signal. China is institutionalizing private participation in long-cycle, cash-flow stable infrastructure projects. Second, a big push for the low-altitude economy and commercial space transportation. The low-altitude economy is broadly known as aviation below 1,000 meters, including drones, flying taxis, logistics aircraft. The low-altitude economy is one of China's fastest emerging sectors. So the new measure states clearly, including equal treatment in frequency licensing and simplified approvals for commercial launches, opening foundational infrastructure projects to private developers. This sector is expected to become a multi-trillion-yuan industry by 2030. Third, helping private firms build R&D and industrial pilot programs. China wants private enterprises, especially tech companies, to have the ability to move from lab-scale innovation to industrial commercialization. The policy explicitly supports private-led trial platforms, SOEs, universities, academies providing market-based pilot services, streamlining approval steps for base construction. This is a direct attempt to reduce the valley of death between technology invention and industrial rollout. Number 4, digital empowerment for SMEs and supply chains. The government now encourages platforms to help SMEs digitally upgrade, and also including cross-sector data integration as well as strengthening supply chain transparency. The aim is clear: help China's massive small to medium-sized enterprises space modernize instead of being left behind during industrial upgrading. Number 5, making government procurement more SME-friendly. Any public project above 4 million RMB should, if suitable, allocate at least 40% of the budget to SMEs. And more importantly, advance payments to private suppliers should exceed 30% of the contract value. Faster settlement and invoice clearance, and for small businesses, this is a major relief. Number 6. Increasing financial support and ensuring credit availability. Banks must set annual private sector lending targets, apply inclusive finance standards, improve NPL tolerance for SME loans, and use innovation scoring system to guide credit. A national financing service platform will be upgraded to give private companies better access to loans and credit evaluation. Number 7. Enabling private REITs and a green channel for IPOs and M&A. The government explicitly encourages tech-driven private companies to use a green fast track for IPOs or M&A and private invested infrastructure projects issuing public REITs. This is about creating new exit channels and investment liquidity, something China's private sector has been calling for years. So, why this package matters? Private capital participation in nuclear power, railways, and gas and oil pipelines has always been extremely low. This time, the government is not just permitting private sector involvement, it is building it into the institutional design at a project planning stage. This is a strong signal. Beijing wants private capital as a structural part of China's long-term economic engine. But always, implementation will be the real test. China has announced big private sector support measures before. It also enacted a private economy promotion law in May 2025, a landmark move. But the gap between policy design and local implementation often remains a bottleneck. The critical questions are, will local governments truly open SOE-dominated sectors? Will banks actually extend credit, or private companies, especially SMEs? Will the promised 40% procurement allocation be enforced? Will approvals for REITs and pilot platforms become faster and more predictable? The success of these 13 measures depend not on Beijing alone, but on countless provincial, municipal, and institutional actors aligning with the national agenda. Some final thought for you. China is entering a phase where private sector vitality is not optional, it is indispensable. In a world where FDI is slowing, geopolitics is uncertain, and global supply chains are shifting, China needs domestic innovation, domestic entrepreneurship, and domestic capital to keep driving growth. This new 13-point plan is ambitious, targeted, and strategically tied to the broader 15th five-year plan. But the real story to watch is execution. Across local governments, financial institutions, and regulatory bodies. As always, we will continue to track how these policies translate into concrete actions on the ground and what they mean for China's private sector, China's competitiveness, and China's long-term growth trajectory. Thank you for listening to Weekly China Recap with Xing Zheming. Stay informed, stay curious, and stay engaged, because China is changing fast, and understanding it requires clarity, context, and consistency. See you next week. Goodbye.